So today, on the way to drop something off, I was listening to the radio, the FM, I can't remember the station, here in Puerto Rico. And I'm listening to the report between the two spokespeople, a guy and a female, criticizing how China has banned the use of OnlyFans in China. Which to me, I think that's a good idea, to be honest. And the reasons why China, according again to the report, I don't know if that's true or not. I just actually sat down and got back, but the reasons China gave for banning OnlyFans is because it's considered a Western decadent platform. And apparently China doesn't want to have their society corrupted by this, again, decadent behavior that's very common in the West, which is my part of the world. But then the lady, the reporter on the radio, she starts criticizing China for being too strict. But you know what? I don't, again, here, us in the West, we cannot have it both ways, really. I mean, we want to be moral, and we also want to be immoral. We want to be decent, but at the same time, we want to be indecent. We want to be, sexual liberation, but at the same time, we want to be Me Too driven. It's a constant contradiction here in the West. It almost seems like it's by the moment, or feelings or perceptions that tend to change from moment to moment. And I guess that's our morality over here, so-called morality. Again, this makes no sense at all. Not only that, let's not criticize at least a society that's trying to be more moral. I'm not saying that people at that part of the world are perfect. I mean, nobody's saying that, just like we're not perfect. But if they're trying to be more moral and they're trying to keep their society cleaner compared to ours, we should not be criticizing that. And I was surprised that the female was the one that was criticizing this the most, that OnlyFans was banned. And this is the same female here in the West that if a guy looks at her, she'll probably get offended. Of course, depending on the guy, because if it's a guy she's attracted to, it's okay. But if it's a guy she's not attracted to, it's an issue. So again, it's like a bipolar morality that we have in the West. So again, I was just surprised that the female on the radio was defending so much the freedom of OnlyFans here in the West. But again, this is the same female that will probably, if she hasn't done already in the past, accuse somebody of assault or harassment. But again, you can't objectify society and then want certain members of society not to return the favor. It's a constant stupidity that we live in the West. I mean, seriously. And I'm not saying that other countries like China are superior morally. I'm pretty sure they have their negatives in some areas. But we are really messed up. I mean, we really are. I mean, you can go anywhere and in the West, in the Western world, and you see a lot of provocation, a lot of decadence from both sides, both men and women. We already know of the Epstein list people, which are a lot of our presidents, like the president right now, a lot of powerful people in Washington, current and previous, have been found in the Epstein list. Both men and women, because again, I'll keep saying it, women are not that innocent as they always make it out to be. It's propaganda. But once again, we can't be both. We can't be both. We can't be moral and immoral at the same time. We can't, and that's what causes a lot of issues and a lot of problems in our Western world. I've noticed that in other countries, these problems barely exist. And when I say barely, I really mean it. Based on many of the reports I've seen. But hey, don't believe me. Look for your own conclusions. Educate yourselves, etc. But I would not criticize a country that's actually doing something that's good for the morality of its society, especially if you're a female that gets triggered over any little thing of that nature. I think that ever since women have been given power, their delusional, fake perceptions is what's actually causing all this confusion. Because, women see things one way, based on emotions, and emotions come and go. Men are just more logical, and we will, we're either going to be pigs or good guys. Females, they want to be both simultaneously, and sometimes depending on scenario, situations, etc. There's 1,000 justifications for the perception or the behavior of a female. But again, I actually admire countries. There's a bunch of countries I looked it up on ChatGPT that have banned OnlyFans. Unfortunately, most of them are countries that are not our friends, that we consider them enemies. But I think they're right in this point. They're wrong in other points, but China, we buy almost everything from China. So if China was so bad, we would not even be buying, we would not even be financing their economy if they were that bad. And again, I'm not pro-China or anti-China. It's just, it makes no sense to me that, this female on the radio is criticizing China for banning OnlyFans. Because again, they don't want the Western influence of decadence to be part of their society as it is today. And again, I'm not saying that they're saints. I'm not saying that at all. I mean, every country has its positives and negatives. But I think they are moving in a better direction than what we are. Like I've said before, women fought for sexual liberation, and now they're fighting somewhat against it with the Me Too movement. So, again, you can't be moral and immoral at the same time. You can't pick and choose when you can spread your legs, when it's justifiable to spread your legs, and when it's not. When, again, the patriarchy already said that very well. It wasn't bipolar, it wasn't fluctuating, it was constant. This is morality, and that's how it is. Nowadays, again, depending on movements, depending on ideologies, depending on propaganda, our moralities are like the waves of the sea, constantly changing and changing and changing. And that's not much of that's not much of a stable society at all. Well, but that's my point. It's just curious how, again, women defend perversion while at the same time are triggered by it. It's I don't know, it's a stupid low IQ conclusion from these females and from men that also support this ideology. Well, till next time.